Happy New Year. It is 2023, and this is going to be one of those videos that I am really reluctant to share, another vulnerable share. And I'm going to get into some of the crazy stuff that's been happening to me over the last few weeks. And it's not comfortable, but I have a commitment to be authentic with my audience. And so if I don't share what's going on with me, really, then I don't feel like I'm being totally truthful with you. And I think it's so important for you to know that even people who are spiritual teachers that seem to have these quote unquote perfect lives, it's not perfect over here. It's messy, just like everyone else. And I go through my stuff just like you go through yours. And on a spiritual journey, that is just part of the ride. So we get to get used to those bumps in the road, whether you're on a spiritual journey or not. Every human being has their stuff to deal with. And ultimately, that's what leads to transformation. I'm WxS&x. Thank you so much for joining me today. So why did I not want to make this video? Where to begin here? Recently, I began sharing with you about a new relationship that began in September, and I was really excited about it, like poured all of myself into it. And it was amazing and magical, and the guidance was all about it, and powerful things were happening. And I was just so excited about it and open and having amazing experiences. And I was so excited to share more about that with you. And then on December 12th, that relationship crashed and burned so hard. It's not funny, but it happened, and I will not share any details on what happened there, just to say that was a huge experience in opening up to love, falling in love, and losing love all in the course of 3 months. So the crash and burn was really hard. And so there had been very minimal to no contact for a couple of weeks. And I decided on New Year's Eve, on December 30th, that it would be great to have closure with this relationship. So what did I do? I called him and got into a deep conversation. And about an hour later, I was laying in bed in fetal position, feeling sick and completely, just completely fatigued. And that night, I started having vertigo. For anyone that's had vertigo, or if you haven't had vertigo, if you have, I feel so much empathy for you. And if you haven't, I hope that you never do. It's really akin to Alice in Wonderland, falling endlessly down the rabbit hole, and you don't know when it's going to end. And it's the scariest thing I've probably ever experienced in my life. Fortunately, I have experienced it before. I went through a bout of vertigo after a car accident several years ago. And so I've learned ways to deal with it, and I did get help. That said, I had this very, very scary experience where I had vertigo all day long, New Year's Eve day, the day of New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, I was in vertigo. And so what that is the experience of, if I move at all, even the tiniest bit, the room spins. So if you've ever been drunk and had drunk spins, it's very similar to that feeling of the room spinning, the drunk spins. If you haven't had that, good for you. I hope you never do. It's horrible, and something I experienced in my 20s, in my youth, when I would party. But the thing about drunk spins is that you know that they're going to stop if you can just sleep it off. And with vertigo, you don't know when it's going to stop. And for me, it's even if I move the slightest little bit to change my position in bed, it would start again. And if I had to get up to go to the bathroom, I'd have to hold on to the walls because I would fall over. And it's very scary. As you know, I am an Alki-1 supporter, and I had my Alki-1 sphere. So I had my master sphere in the room with me, and I had my 4.7 inch. I was holding on to them. They were helping stabilize me in between these bouts of vertigo. And honestly, I feel like they helped me recover so much faster. And so as I'm lying there between my Alki-1 spheres, Stepan, the founder and creator of Alki-1, messaged me a beautiful picture of an Alki-1 sphere. And on the picture, it says, wishing you balance in 2023. And I messaged him and I said, that's so timely because I'm experiencing vertigo right now. And then he responded with a beautiful message about a prayer that I could do, pray to God for clearing all of the negative emotions that have accumulated in me. And he said, vertigo is attached to relationships, always related to relationship issues. And I said, well, that's interesting too, because I just had a conversation with my recent ex, and it seems to have launched me into a vertigo experience. I'm really sharing this because there are those of you out there that I mean, anyone that's experienced or experiencing vertigo, my heart goes out to you. I want to help you because I know how terribly uncomfortable it is. And so this prayer that I'm going to offer you was inspired by this conversation with Stepan first. And then also following that, I had a conversation with my dear friend, Reverend Honeybee. And Reverend Honeybee is just this magical being who's a dear friend of mine in the Sarasota area. Honey talked about just going deeply into communion and connection with the earth and the Holy Spirit and all of these beautiful influences and friends came in this time of great, it was sadness, fear. I mean, for me, vertigo definitely feels scary. So I can say that there was some fear around it. I knew that it would end. It wasn't as scary as the first time I had it, but I do go into some fear when I experience it because it's scary. And that's just a natural human reaction. So I also want to honor that part of me that goes into fear when something scary happens, because that's a part of my humanness. And so these beautiful friends were making themselves available to me. And I sat up in bed and I did this prayer. And it was a prayer from my heart, a prayer of forgiveness. And Stepan had said, you must forgive him fully. Forgive him fully. And that is how you will clear yourself from this vertigo. And I took that to heart. I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely true. I must go into full forgiveness, not just of him, but of myself and of everyone that I might be harboring anything that I need to forgive. It's time to do that. This is how I ended my year. My last day of 2022 was spent in prayer. And because I had this vertigo, it also comes with a deep and extreme fatigue when I get it. And so I was lying there as still as I possibly could in fatigue and this experience of spinning when I moved. And I was able to sit up in bed and stabilize myself. And I went into prayer and I did hours and hours and hours of prayer the entire night of into the day of New Year's Eve day. I prayed, and then the entire day I could barely move. I could barely get out of bed. New Year's Eve day, I was able to just pray and pray and pray. And so I want to share some of this prayer. It was prayer from my heart in the moment, and it was relevant to the situation. And what I realized in this period of prayer that I was doing, I became very, very grateful for the experience, as uncomfortable as it was, because I felt myself having this experience of ending the year in forgiveness of self and other, ending the year in clearing negative energies from my field and from humanity from the earth. And because I had this intense physical experience along with it, my prayers were deeply passionate and reverent. I don't know if you've ever had your life threatened or been in a situation where someone else's life is threatened, or you're feeling just so deeply passionate. When I pray in a state of feeling passionate, things happen. Like the world changes, the timeline shifts, life itself becomes different. And that level of intensity that's partnered with prayer really opens stargates, changes timelines, open portals. And even though this was terribly uncomfortable for me, I know that it had to be this way. It was designed this way by my higher self, by my guidance, by creation, by divine itself, by source, that I would go into fervent, reverent, passionate prayer for all of the hours, for over 24 hours before the beginning of 2023, and then continuing into 2023 when it lessened but was still very present in my field. And so I also want to say about vertigo, I looked it up in Heal Your Body by Louise Hay, and she talks about all of the different ailments that a physical body can experience. And then she gives the probable reasons, and then she gives an affirmation statement. So I wanted to share with you the affirmation statement that goes along with vertigo or dizziness. And so what we say as the affirmation or in her book is, I am deeply centered and peaceful in life. It is safe for me to be alive and joyous. I am deeply centered and peaceful in life. It is safe for me to be alive and joyous. And the probable cause, she has probable cause, and then the affirmation. The probable cause of vertigo: flighty, scattered thinking, a refusal to look. So yes, flighty, scattered thinking was what was going on that call with my ex. A lot of that, going back into what happened, back into what might have been, back into rehashing some things, which really was flighty and scattered, and then a refusal to look. So I think for me, that was a refusal to look at, okay, this is where I'm at, and I get to look to the future now versus looking to the past. And that might be different for each person. Obviously, everyone that has this experience will have their own reasons behind it. But in sharing with you my thinking process, I'm hoping that that will sort of open something up. Whatever you might be experiencing, might be emotional or physical or energetic, but whatever it is that you're looking at clearing from your field, there is probably an emotional component to it, and a mental component and a physical component. There are all these different levels and layers of everything we experience. Nothing happens by accident. I don't believe that anything is just put upon me with no reason. I think that I'm a co-creator, a very conscious co-creator of my life, and the choices that I make lead to the experiences that I have. I believe that's true for all of us. I know it to be true for myself. So this vertigo experience was a very poignant experience of, okay, I get to straighten up my thinking, focus, and clarify where I am going. And in order to do that, I get to clear out where I have been and my past and let that go so that I may move fully and completely in presence into my future, the future that I'm creating, that does include great love, that does include deep connections, that does include all of the things that I envision my life to be. And so I invite you now, as I'm going to share with you the prayer that came to me in this experience. And then I'm also going to deepen into it in this present moment so that we can really feel it and experience it and open our hearts to be fully present in new year. In order to do that, we must be free. We must forgive. We must be fully aligned and balanced. I invite you now to join me for this heart awakening forgiveness prayer. This forgiveness prayer is for clearing all pathways as we enter the new year or as we enter any new phase of life. Center yourself in your heart, taking some deep breaths, focusing inward. Feel your heart beating. Pay attention to your breath, slowing and deepening your breath as you relax into this prayer and this sacred space. And I invite you, as I say the line, to join me and speak the line out loud for yourself after I share it. I forgive all who have trespassed against me in any way. I forgive all who have trespassed against me in any way. I forgive all who have hurt or disappointed me. I forgive all who have hurt or disappointed me. I forgive all and I surrender all to the divine Holy Spirit of love. I forgive all and I surrender all to the divine Holy Spirit of love. I forgive myself for all trespasses I have made on others. I forgive myself for all trespasses I have made on others. I forgive myself for hurting, judging, and disappointing. I forgive myself for hurting, judging, and disappointing. I clear these distortions and shadows from my body, from my heart, from my mind, and from my spirit. I clear these distortions and shadows from my body, from my heart, from my mind, and from my spirit. I choose to be free. I choose to be free. I choose to be clear. I choose to be clear. I choose to be in balance with divine love. I choose to be in balance with divine love. I am free. I am free. I am clear. I am clear. I am love. I am love. Take a deep breath, going deeply within here. Feel the alchemy, the transformation of all that was unforgiven, becoming forgiveness, forgiving, forgiven. I forgive. I am forgiven. Feel that in your body. I deeply forgive. I am deeply and fully forgiven. I forgive myself fully. I forgive all others. All others are aspects of myself. I forgive myself fully. And now see yourself wrapped in golden crystalline light, the light of Source, divine light, wrapping its arms around you and coming in as the Holy Spirit, moving deeply in to your body. Breathe it in. Soak it in to your cells. Soak it in through your skin, through your energy, letting it into the body, letting it clear the body, flooding the body with golden liquid crystal plasmic light, flooding the body with this plasmic water like light. And it can be, think of it as a fountain of light just pouring through every part of you. Pouring this light, the Holy Spirit moving through your body, through your blood, through the organs, the muscles, the tissues, the cells, the atoms, the space within. This golden crystalline light moving through the DNA, clearing, cleansing, purifying. Breathe it in. Let it in. Open your heart to receive it. The purity of the divine Holy Spirit, the crystalline light, crystallined within, balancing, activating, purifying all of you, all of the physical body, purifying the mental body, the thoughts, the mind, bringing Christ consciousness into the mind, Christ aligned mind. And breathe that through every thought. Aligning the mind to divine consciousness. And allowing this Holy Spirit, Christ-aligned energy to move into the emotional body, cleansing and purifying the emotions, clearing the shadow and the density, bringing light to traumas, to old hurts. Letting this wash through the emotions and feel whatever feelings surface. Sometimes feelings and emotions will surface to make room to be cleared and make room for more divine light. Breathing this light, feeling whatever you feel. And now letting this light move out into your energy field, bringing the Christ conscious light, the crystalline light, golden activation, purifying light through the energy field, purifying your field, clarifying any old residues, letting that be purified and cleansed and cleared from your energetic body. Breathing deeply, allowing that purification to happen. This is the alchemization of the old energies, transmuting, clearing, and opening to the new divine light energies coming into your field, opening to allow the pureness of truth, divine light and love into your body, bringing it in through the crown of your head, letting it move down the spine, through every chakra, energy center, to the base of the spine, and then coming out the bottom of the spine and back up around the torus field of light around your body, letting this energy move from the top of your head, through your spine, to the base of the spine, out and around, and back in through the crown of the head, so that there truly is a golden light fountain of divine light, cleansing and purifying your field, activating the light within you, amplifying your divine light as you clear all that is not for your highest good out of your body, out of your mind, out of your field, purified in truth, activated in your oneness, your wholeness and completeness, healing the heart in total forgiveness, embraced by the bringers and holders of light, of love, purification of the purity flame. And now just feel yourself sitting in the platinum flame of purification as it engulfs your body, burning off everything that is not of the highest divine good, and anchoring your divine truth, your divine path and purpose. I am purified. I am whole. I am forgiven. I have completely forgiven. I give as before, in generosity, in love, in purity, in clarity. I am anchored in divine light. I allow the platinum flame to purify my field, to purify my emotions, my thoughts, and my body. My body contains divinity. Divine truth resides in me. I am divine light in body, embodied. I honor this embodiment as sacred. It is safe to be embodied here now. I am safe. I am love. I am pure. And now, moving your hands to your heart center. Feel that beautiful sacred heart within you. Feel how loved and cherished you are. Washed with purity, Christ consciousness, Christ light. I am Christ light embodied. I am grateful. I am grateful for this life, for this opportunity to bring the divine into flesh. I am grateful for this embodiment. Thank you, divine, for blessing me. Now take some deep breaths as you bring your awareness back to the physical body. And you may just want to bask in this beautiful light energy for a while. Just feel the purity of it, how good it feels to forgive and be forgiven. And just breathe and come back at your own pace, at your own rate, knowing that you have done some beautiful transformational work today in doing this forgiveness prayer. Thank you for being with me. I love you. I cherish you. Namaste.